right, hello, hello, hello. Sorry about that. Like it went down to zero, and I was like, "Oh God, the washing machine is like on like its like super final spin." And I was like, "Oh God, why is it doing that?" It was so loud. So I was like, "All right, I had to run and shut the door and stuff." All right, so we only got about 10 minutes before we have our flash services, so I wanted to make sure that we got in there and saw that. A lot of movement in the yen right now. Originally, when you looked in here, it looked like it was going to be the dollar. And it actually it's not, it's a dollar a little bit, but not tons. I mean, you're seeing the dollar more or less pull back on everything, but it kind of shot up this morning and then kind of pulled back again. But the outlier to that is absolutely the yen. You're seeing yen strength versus the dollar as well as the pound, and the pound is moving a little bit, right? I mean, euro pound is down about 43. You're seeing euro dollar up about 7. So again, I'd say kind of a hard determination which one's stronger, but I would say obviously yen is probably the strongest right now. CAD just got some great data as well, and you're seeing that was already kind of baked in. They were expecting it, and again, kind of I don't want to say blew it out of the water, but it was kind of one of those ones where it's mixed, where they lowered it before, but it came in much higher. Overall, on a monthly basis, right, the month over month, just everything, not just the core, 2.2. So quite a big hit over, right? And again, there was a slight adjustment last time. Not, I don't think it was huge. Yeah, point 0.9, point 0.7 came in a little bit less than expected. So, um, great data for the cat. Your auto is high pitch and screechy. That's just my voice, Ernest. It's called being old and yelling, right? That's what it is. I don't know about high pitch though. If it's high pitch, then it's definitely messed up. Then put some bass in your voice. Yeah, if I do that, I'm just gonna lose it. It's the only way that it happens. Yeah. Actually, you know what? Now that you say that, um, when I had that last problem last time, no, it's been bad since yesterday. Yeah, no, that would make sense. Now that you said that, though, um, hmm, I was checking to see. So there's with the microphone when it updated last time, there is actually like presets in there, that actually do change the pitch of it. Hold on, I'm just looking at that now. I don't know if that's the one. I think it is. Actually, I think you're right. It is actually changed off right now. Yeah, it's not the same one. Oh, that and there's normally a, I don't know. There's normally like a foam piece on the microphone. Well, Kipster pulled that one off, and I'm not exactly sure where it is. He likes to eat it, and if I could find it, that would help too. But that would probably make it less screechy too, Ernest. Just FYI. So I'll look for that after. It's one of those things. Having the kids, it's just never ends. But yeah, I don't think. Unfortunately, I don't think I can change it now. Um, let's see, blue ice pop microphone. I don't know what the heck that is. Um, yeah, I don't know. There are settings. I'll mess with it after this. Yeah, so it did update, and there's like you can use the same settings that like different online personalities use. Myth, Tactical, um, London Spitfire Prophet uses. So it changes it all around. So yeah, it could be. You could be right. Maybe I won't pick on you that bad. So you could be right. Um, the world needs more bass. Yeah, yeah, and like I said, I mean, that's when Kipster left, and that's yeah, it's missing. But yeah, I'll mess with it afterwards. All right. Anyway, again, we got 6 minutes before we go in, so I want to kind of check those out. Like I said, retail services today. We're looking for closer to that 50 number, and again, services and manufacturing. Like I said, I think there could be something in there. And again, just kind of seeing it at the opening. Unfortunately, with the 15 minutes beforehand, it's always a little bit hard because people know that news is there, but it is moving ahead of time. So here's ES on a 15-minute. You can see really since it started, and looking at the 9:30 candle, would this have been an opening trade? Probably not. Like I said, this would not have been an area that I'm looking to trade off of. Here's the level of basing much lower, and it didn't pull back that far, but it is rallying up ahead of time. So there is a level in the 15-minute. And you can see it right back here. This is what we're in right here. So price is currently sitting right here. Okay. I don't know. Price is sitting right here right now. Okay. There's nothing until we get a little bit higher. We know that there is definitely a couple areas in here. Anywhere close to this before news would kind of be like more of a sell, right? You could use the box here and bracket it off, but we know we're pretty close. And again, within the next 5 minutes, we kind of need it to rally just a little bit more. So we know we're close. We know we're rallying right before news. Which again, if the news is bad, if manufacturing is down, that's kind of like, oh man, we're already kind of heading into a recession. That's kind of like, oh god, what's this going to look like? That could definitely be a more of a kind of a sell side type setup. Now let me log in Nadex real quick and see if we have anything even remotely close. Let's see indices. Where are we at? What do we got that's close? I have to take off this off the. Let's see, 15 minutes. Um, all right. Okay. With it driving up right now, unfortunately, the only knockout that they have in there is about $100 risk. Again, a little bit much per contract. It's got a little bit of room. It's 100 to make 400 in the other direction. So, I mean, it does qualify for that, but a little bit high. Let me see, actually, see if we can get something cheap over here on call spreads. Uh, there's a 30 for 70 call spread on a 2 hour basis. That is not horrible. Um, again, that's playing it to the downside. It looks like it's going to have to be. Got here. What do we got? Um, ouch. There's a little bit of a premium baked into these suckers. Yeah, the 9 to 11's got some stuff. Wow. $17 risk for 83 in the other direction, and it's got to jump through one, two, three, four, five strike prices in the next hour. So they're expecting a big number on this one. So it looks like there's a lot jacked in. Again, it's already starting to pull back a little bit. Again, we kind of need this one to rally just a little bit more. But as far as opening print goes, it would not have been an opening print based trade today. It was already starting to rally back, and its pullback would have been much lower. So looks like ES is not going to have necessarily anything. Look at this one. 9:30. They're already expecting bad data on this one. Look, it's literally whipping back and forth. And on this one, would it have hit an opening print? No. I mean, the basing level was much lower. As an old one we talked about. Spent a lot of time there. Did not get the entry. Did rally. So that one makes it a little bit difficult. Again, super close on YM. Let's jump across. Maybe YM has something a little bit better in here. Let's see. Um, and on a 2 hour basis, I don't know about that. I don't know if I take that much risk on that one. Um, so there is one in YM that basically it is down here, right? Only about $16 worth of risk. So it would require this one to turn and be red for the day. But again, that is a daily. So you do have about 6.5 hours on that one to come back down. And that's the level. I mean, the Europeans basically sent it straight up. It would just be a retracement back down for YM. And let me see Russell real quick, see if there's anything. Did Russell touch it? It didn't. They're all kind of the same. And again, Russell would not have triggered either. YM actually, no. Russell got close. No, Russell did not hit it. It was close. Look at that. It was close. And that would have been a 1 to 3. But okay. Yeah, they're all rallying up right now. So let's see. Let's click this in. We're about 1 minute to go on it. Um, let's see what it does here. Oops. Let's go check out the VIX real quick. VIX is going down. I wonder why the heck they have so much premium baked into those things. All right, let's see. News should be out now. Let's see what it came in as. Come on. It's 9:45. We know you got the data out there. Looking at the price already. Oh, there we go. Look at that. See? Uh, the Manufacturing actually came in better. The services, again, huge surprise to the downside. We were looking for like 49-ish. So again, 47 is a big one on the services side of things. Manufacturing, I was actually expecting to be lower. I was expecting 51 to 50, like 50.5, like just barely surviving. And again, would not have been surprised if it was lower than that, but I was actually expecting a bit lower than that. So yeah, so services, there you go. There's the services hit on that one that we were expecting to be lower. And again, services, that was a lot higher. That was a lot lower. I didn't expect that much. But again, that is kind of a, you know, kind of a red, right? That's kind of a red thing for the overall market. So again, it's kind of like they knew that there was going to be bad data. And look at the yen. This one, the dollar yen is just cranking to the downside, right? 1.5% down in 24 hours and really kind of accelerating. Um, again, the news obviously was kind of out already, right? Seeing this rally up, especially in this realm, right? Seeing it rally that fast, you're kind of like, huh, I wonder if somebody knows something. Why is the price moving so much at 7:45 this morning? Again, the news is not, it's out there. But again, such a big miss on that one. We're going to see a little bit of a chop back and forth again. There were zones that were clean right above it. And again, we kind of missed those, but that's what we're looking for was kind of that downside of things. So, um, what did I say on that one? What did I have it as? I marked it. Yeah, right here. Let's change this to 31, 9, 20. Good. Put that at there. And then it misses. Boom, boom. All right, so VIX. Obviously, at this point, the news is out. The VIX should probably go back to the downside a bit. Again, there's not too much in there that, at this point, not many surprises. Again, it is a Friday. That's our last bit of news. People are going to be taking off for the first time in over 2 years. Right? Private sector firms indicated the first contraction in business activity, Mm. which is crazy because people are still spending a heck of a lot of money. So, yeah, so I'm assuming that this will continue to deteriorate for the day. And you may say, well, it's deteriorating, but wait, shouldn't that make everything go up? I mean, the fear behind it is there, but again, there is a certain level of fear with the markets going down and being red. But if services are contracting that much, remember that's a contracting below 50, and it's not just 49; it's 47. So I mean, it's quite a bit of contraction. But again, the known is out, so the VIX technically should come down. Um, Looking at Aussie dollar, right? Again, Aussie, this one we're kind of following. Let's take this off and go up to here. And you may say, why the heck is this spiking? Well, the data is kind of bad for the U.S., right? It's not the best. Yeah, seeing contraction that much, not necessarily the best thing. Now, this is a level that we did have marked off, right? This 68, 69, 69. It was a level with basing, and it has been front run a few times there. It is kind of nuzzled up with the 78.6. I would actually expect, again, we know we got a level above it too, the 69.93, where it's been kind of tested twice, but been strong. Um, I'd like to see where this one kind of turns and flips. I'm hoping it doesn't just tag this and roll back down again. Could it? Yes. I'm kind of hoping that it goes higher and actually triggers the alert. I'm kind of looking for a 1030 reversal on this one. Yeah, it's bad for the dollar, but again, once everybody's like, "Oh my God, it's bad, it's red," then we see the turn and kind of flip in this one. And again, it's really, I mean, this move started at 3 o'clock this morning, right? Here is the European Open, right there, the red candle. Actually, right there. So again, it's yeah, it's this one right here, this red candle. So basically, at 3:30 in the morning, it's been straight up since that time. Okay. Again, this is kind of showing you that, hey, listen, it's bad news, right? They knew what the data was going to be, so we should be looking for somewhat of a reversal. Is it a parabolic move? Not so much in the overnight, but in the current candle, I would say yes, it's more set up that way. It is a 30 pip runner in one candle. The 30-minute ATR is 12, so it's over 2 times that. So I would be looking for a reversal, whether it comes in here. Maybe we see the top put in, and then we use whatever the new top is. If we can get something like this or a candle that's shaped like this in here, I think it's decent. If we go back up to the 69, again, I'll just push this all the way across. Right there. Um, Again, this is where I'd be looking for the reversal back to the downside. But one of these two levels I think is pretty decent. If we're unable to get up to the 69.92 and we can open up there on Sunday night, I also think that's a pretty decent gap. Kind of an overnight setup play. And again, that would look like right in here, right? That would be the push back to the downside, right? 22, 24. Yeah, right over in there. So something along those lines. And the way the formation is, again, with this little kind of rally base and then strong push out of it, that would be the decent downside target for it. So it is kind of setting up for a reversal play. It is Friday. Do not hold things over the weekend. So there is kind of, like I said, there is probably something in there on that one. Now, the only thing that may help this one a little tiny bit is the fact that, you know, hey, services are already going down. Maybe they're not going to be as harsh with the dollar because it's such a big move in the other direction. But again, it's kind of like which one's worse. It's the chicken and the egg type scenario. All right, so looking at Aussie yen. So Aussie yen, obviously moving back down again. This is a level we talked about yesterday. We talked about if we can get some basing, a push down to 94.50. That would be the old 23.6. Let's go see where it is now. Yeah, it looks like again. What's this? Late last night at like 10 o'clock, 8 o'clock. Again, we came down and tagged the new 23.6 from yesterday. Right. Nice little rally. Three. Yeah, I still think this one is probably once we break through the bottom side of this one. And again, this would be a breakthrough of 94, 94.77. We'll probably take this 30 pip push back to the downside. Gonna mark this off. Can adjust this up now to there. Again, that's a decent candle. Let's box this here. Three. All the basing. Don't need that anymore. We'll clean that one. So, yeah, I would say right now, probably a bit more bearish, both for the Aussie dollar and Aussie yen. Again, we know the Aussie dollar is surging right now. When that one turns and rolls, that one will start getting negativity for the Aussie, which should also help start driving this one back down. So, again, a break at 94.77, I think, again, this is the target we've talked about for a while. Conservatively, the 94.50 will kind of suck it in. But I think overall, we look for this to kind of rally back, not rally, but kind of push and grind its way back down again to 94.05. And then that could be an interesting level to start, kind of taking this one for a reversal as well. It is tested. It is close to the 50, but right now with the 23.6, the 23.6 trade is already out right off that basing level, and all we needed to do was adjust it. And again, that was when did that one hit? Yeah, late last night at like 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock last night. Um, and again, we had that level marked. We didn't adjust the fibs for it. That was pretty good. 1 to 3 is right there. Okay, so again, very very fast. You were at this one at 2 o'clock. All right. So decent move there. Euro dollar. Come on. There we go. So euro dollar. The trade was already done, so this one wasn't a news one for me. I had this one marked when I saw this kind of doing what it was doing. I was like, all right, all right, all right. I was like, all right. When we started to push up, I got back over here and I was like, let's see. I'm not gonna trade this one. I was like, but this one's pretty decent. And that would be a big push. I actually I didn't expect this move at 2 o'clock in the morning, but when the move kind of came down when I woke up today and I was like, like in here, I looked at it, I was like, it's pretty much a parabolic retracement move. And then you can see it got out right at 7:30. So pretty easy one. We had this 101.33 marked off from yesterday, and that's all it did. It came down, and it was a not a bad trade. Little 13 pip, 14 pip risk on that one. And again, snagging 48 in the other direction. So that was actually 45 for me. Yeah, it's moving. It's doing what it should be doing. Again, that data was really bad for the dollar. So we are pushing forward. There is a level up top that we've kind of hit before in the past. I think if we can rally all the way up to that level, the 102.60, 61, again, this is the European Open, right? We've been straight up. We're looking for profit taking to come in reversals. But again, you got to love when at 3 o'clock it drives right into a zone that you've been looking for. And again, it was a strong push last time coming out of it. So you would assume that, yes, it would do it again, and it did. So it's out. Funny enough, look at this. This was that old level we talked about for the Harry Potter, and it kind of went through. But look at this zone. Boom, look at this. Same thing, and that's what we're playing with right now. So it's just amazing how these areas, right? I mean, we have it marked here. It was a bottom, a bottom, a bottom. There was the punch through and kind of broke through the top, but then went down, and then magically it becomes the same top, now an area where we have sellers coming in. So funny how that works out. But we get up to 102.61. Again, that's for me. That's a pull the trigger. We've been up there before. I also think Sunday night, if we have kind of the rollover, and I don't really have a Sunday night sticker. I don't think I ever did the Sunday night sticker. I don't even know one that like what I would put. Like what Sunday night means what? Hmm, what would a Sunday night sticker be? Hmm, a Sunday night sticker. Hmm, it's a good one. It's an interesting question there. I don't even know what I would put for the Sunday night. Like kind of like start of the week. Would it be like I'm not getting any sleep? Would it be like the exclamation point? Um, I mean, it's not really a charting day for me. I don't even know. It's a hard one. I don't even know like what the justification for that one would be. Um, I don't know. I guess like the power button maybe. I could do like the power button, right? Let's see. Power button right there, right? We do like the a green power button for go, right? New week. Um, again, I think that one's a short. Actually, it would be a red, but again, starting the week, not closing the week. Up at that level. Euro pound. So euro pound. We talked about 85, how it would be kind of a vacuum. It was tested before, but we knew we had quite a level in there. It actually came through, bursted through, and again, it's still stuck around that 85 number. Um, again, broke a little bit through. I think, we talked about kind of the best trade setup on this one. Probably the 84.77 still. Again, this level is based. That was the top. So again, it's still valid. The 61.8 is still there. Again, it did chop through, and again, it hit it and it bounced, and then hit it again and bounced through, and is now pushing lower. So it's there, right? It's there. But as far as clean goes, and again, I'll put an alert on this one. I think this is worthy of an alert because again, it hasn't moved. I'll change it into green. And we'll set, what are we going to call this one? 61.8. 61.8 reversal. There we go. For Euro pound. And again, kind of makes sense, right? Pound strength, European weakness. There's been a couple things, actually news wise. Here's that word, stagnation. Actually, they're not saying stagflation, they're saying stagnation. But again, third quarter, euros, we're starting to see some chinks in the armor of the euro. They just raised and they're like, yay! Right? But then you see things like this. Germany faces slower growth and new spike in inflation. Right? So, yeah, yeah. Um, look, PMI data indicates contractions of activity and downturn gather. So the data out of the European Union not great. So we should see this come down. But again, there's so many different things that people could say to make this better next week. But I think that's where the being the weekend, we wait to see what happens with this one. Euro yen. So euro yen wise. Yeah, so we had a pullback at 3 o'clock this morning. Now we mentioned that 140.10 was going to be our target. We kind of missed it here, and again, we knew we had an old level. We weren't really looking to trade off because we had so much room in here. But it came down, went back up, and all of a sudden started to form kind of a basing level, and then pushed down, and then came back up again. Almost gave us again, it did give us that continuation down, but we were looking for targets of 140 and then 139.38. So again, missed it here, came back, and then late last night we grabbed it, got sliced through, missed it, boom, tagged through it, and hit the next one. So the nice thing is the euro yen has been doing the work. It has taken our profit targets out from the downside, particularly from the top. And again, this started with a news trade as it's pushing all the way back down again. So, we are currently bouncing right now off the 61.8. Is it a level that I want to get into? Not so much. I don't think it's the most attractive base trade. I do think today, with what we've seen out of the euro, not great. What we're seeing with the yen makes complete sense right now. There is a level right below it that, again, if you are short, that if you're still short, if you haven't taken profit target either of these two, there is one more level, and it's a weird level. So this level, it was a base and then kind of touched, but then there was two that really got front run, right? Just bare. This one actually got front run. This one just barely touched the top of the zone. So it technically is three hits, but obviously buyers and buyers. All right. So that would be the area I'd watch out for. We do have a level marked off, and again, I don't like the 78.6. It's not really my favorite level, but people will trade it. That's a level I think. Again, if we can drive down, and how much is it? It's 103. We're not going to move that far the rest of today. Um, if we did move that far, again, that would be an area. If we take a bounce off of it, I think, and again, it is right at the 138 figure. It's an area where we could potentially find, a long trade. So there's something in there. But again, we've been looking for two targets of the downside. Both targets have been hit. There was a Harry Potter trade in here, and this one there's just not enough room really for it to hit. There was here, but not necessarily here. Okay. Um, yeah. So yeah, I think buy area is 138.10, and again, I don't love that one. And then obviously the original retracement all the way down here at 137. That's quite a haul down though. So there's gonna have to be some really bad, some really bad news for that one. Oops. I hate when I do that. All right. Sorry. I hit something and minimized all my windows. All right. Pound dollar. So, pound dollar. We surprised? No. There was that knockout from yesterday. They got taken out with news, and then it came back up again. And last night at around 5 o'clock, we hit that zone again, and it did it again. So, if you hit it here, you made your 1 to 3. If you did it off the news, you made your 1 to 3. If you hit it the third time, you made your 1 to 3. What did hit number 4 do? Blew right through it like it didn't even exist. And again, that's why we talk about the 4 hit is really kind of where you don't want to be trying to do the same thing again and again. Um, but it did give you 3 solid trades. One short there, one short there, and another short right there, all in the overnight. And then really from 4 o'clock this morning, like everything else, we've been going higher. Now, we're in an interesting spot right now with this one. We got front run here, and again, we were looking for that news trade. That's the one that we missed. And then again, it did come up and tag it. So we know there are some sellers here. Now it is 10. It is a little bit. It's a little bit early for that reversal to come in, but we are in an area where again we've had one touch. We've had arguably you could say there's definitely two. Is this hit three? Or are we going to count any of the front runs? So there's a couple levels in here. We had talked originally about, kind of pushing through this one and where the target would be, the 120.67. We are getting close. And again, if we shrink this down just a little bit, I would say if we can push up, if this is unable to hold, because again, we're a little bit early for the reversal, there is a zone just slightly above. Okay. And I would say that's 120.73. Let me see, Nadex wise. Forex. Pound dollar. When I say 73. No, unfortunately, this one is it. It's 120.69 on Nadex, which is kind of like, and there's 89. So it's it's just a little bit too close, right? A little bit too close. Um, yeah, the 69 is sitting right here. The 69 would be decent for this one, and maybe if we put a top in, maybe we'll get a candle. We'll start seeing the topping formation come in. Then you could take this knockout. Um, but yes, there is a knockout in there right now, though. Right? It's I wouldn't say it's got a bit more room to run. Oh, that's the 89. I was like, wait a second, that's too far away. Um, Yeah, if we can get the top put in and we pull back a little bit, again, we want to see that failure to go higher. If we get a failure to go higher, there is actually a knockout position sitting 120.69. Right, right there. Right. So there's a knockout sitting right there, 120.69. It's a little bit deep right now. It'd be risking 24 to make 78, or 23.78. It's close, but if we can get the correct topping pattern, look for a parabolic retracement and take this back to the downside, right? And again, you want to be there's your profit target right there. That's where you want your profit to be taken from. Okay. So again, if we manage to maintain and hold here, this could also be a Sunday night trade with dollar strength coming back into the market. And again, let's use this one, copy it, mention it right there. Wherever the short comes in, target's going to be 119.74 for that one. Okay. Let's pull this. We don't need this, this, and this. We'll hold this one right now. All right, so yeah, be looking for a reversal somewhere in there. I think this one's due. It's not like again the pound's in a great place. It's just this is very weak dollar news, but again, profit taking will come in. We will see a reversal, and this one should roll back down again. Pound yen. Okay. Pound yen's kind of doing what we expected. Went through the 50 with no problems. Actually, it hit the 50, went up, and then just continued to fall through. 61.8, we're kind of at that level right now, but didn't really give any retracement. There is an area down here that we do have testing. Now, we did have some testing of the 61.8, and that's kind of what this sideways kind of chopping went through. There's another little level here, and I don't know if we can get all the way down there. How much is it got to move? Oh, it's only going to move 37. We can get there. I think, again, there could be something here. This is going to be, unfortunately, this is going to be purely a yen play because the pound market will be closed when this comes out. Again, this is one of those ones that if this was like a Tuesday or Wednesday, I think this would be a great reversal point for the pound yen. But unfortunately, right now, we're talking about almost no time left, right? You can see right here, right? Got an hour and 53 seconds, or an hour and 53 minutes to go. By noon, we have no European-based influence whatsoever, and really, we're kind of getting to the end of the day right now on this one. If this one comes down, then it's purely the yen. There is no pound strength, no pound weakness. It's solely up to the yen at that point. So, yeah, a little bit harder. And again, we will see a reversal somewhere in here. And again, if we can push down at 10:30, maybe that's where we see that reversal, that profit taking from the overnight. Because again, this peak right here, where this open right here, this is the European session. This is the European session open. So it's really been straight, nothing but straight down, right, since the European market. So we should see a reversal on it. And one level is kind of sitting right here. Again, this is kind of a far level, but it was a decent pop out of it. So we're close. We're close. Now, dollar CAD. So dollar CAD came back up and actually did trigger here. This was 10:30 yesterday, and I think actually we mentioned this yesterday. Kind of getting up there. We're really, really close. And again, it's I can continue this across. I mean, I can just copy and paste and then drag it over here. It's the same trade. Same trade as this one. But we came back up to that level again. Again, it was a 23.6 pullback. Actually, I guess I have to extend it to there. There's where you're officially out. I'll put it just a little bit past so you guys can see. There you go. See, it's officially out there. So same trade, same 23.6 pullback. Actually, I guess it's a different 23.6 pullback. This was one that we had set up from before on the break. This was doing forecasting with fibs when I drug it down to the 128.50, and I said, "Hey, listen, we pull back to that level. We can use that same base. It's decent." And again, we pulled it back down again, and that's what set this alert, this alert off. Yesterday, and there's a continuation. Actually, let me see real quick why I had this up here. Nope, it's still broken. Wah, wah, wah. It was such a great solution, and then they had to block payments from Russia. It's like, ah, like there are good people in Russia. Why do we mess with good things that come out of Russia? So unfortunate. So unfortunate. I'm gonna have to find a workaround for that. Wah wah wah. It was rolling too. Gotta love trading view alerts. There are other solutions, so I'll have to use one of the other solutions. Not as good, but I'll have to use one of the other solutions for that one and get that one back online. All right. Anyway, where dollar CAD is right now, again, we had talked about this target 128.50. Again, we had great CAD news today, right? This is really, really good CAD news, and again, bad US news, but it was already starting to move down. If you look in the last 24 hours, it's down 0.5%. It was already starting to go down, and look, you're already starting to see the reversal at this point. It's not really that surprising. Again, the news is out, people are in, and it's just really kind of flatlining down here. So we knew we had buyers. We know we got a little bit of a zone right below it as well. And again, what it looked like was this kind of push up and a base. There wasn't really a test of it. The closest test we got was here in front run. And that's kind of, if you look to see, it's right above this. That's kind of what we're running into right now. I would say, again, this is more of an area where I don't know if we're going to get a ton of movement out of it. But I would say, I think this is probably a decent area where it's kind of like, you know, this could be a good place to establish a long for next week, and I do feel like that is the truth. Um, I like it down here. I do think it's probably a buying opportunity. I'm not buying it on Friday before the weekend, but I think Sunday night this is something that you guys should absolutely look at. You should do your homework. Again, after the market's closed today or tomorrow, look at this one, see how you feel. Go from your daily 4 hour, You can go even go down to the 2 hour hourlies just to kind of see, get a broader picture of it. And again, I think there's a trade to be established. As far as a week long base trade, I think the dollar cat isn't up next week. Yeah, services are down, but you know, one of the things with services as well is not so much economy based. If you guys were listening to the news yesterday, there are now Chipotle's that are trying to unionize because of the success with Starbucks, and there are unions now suing Starbucks because they started to shut down some Starbucks. And again, Starbucks is like, listen, people are not working. We don't have the bodies. We're closing it down. We're changing our hours. And people were like, you're just being retaliatory. You don't need it to be shut down. It's like, well, maybe they do, maybe they don't. I mean, I can tell you now, people are still having a hard time finding people to, work in retail services, like, servers and things like that in food services. So, but again, they said that, there's been store closures and, it's hurt Starbucks stock, and now Chipotle is getting sued as well and they're trying to unionize against it as well. Um, I'll tell you right now, like, I get the whole union thing, but going into a recession, like when people aren't working, you can try to be a union. It's like, we're just not going to work. And it's like, okay, well, fine. There's other people that will, you know? Typically when the market's booming is when that's the best, not when you go into recession. So, we'll see how that one works out. But again, I'd look for this one to kind of find a bottom. We're pretty close. There's a couple different areas down here, but I think this one is a long for next week. Dollar Swiss, excuse me. So dollar Swiss, we talked about, coming down to a level. We talked about it, a knockout and what it looked like. And I think we did this one yesterday morning. We talked about the knockout, and you can see it's blown out the bottom of the knockout right now. So it's out, and even on the top side, went up about 2/3 of the way. It never really came back and hit it. So we will take this one out as far as where the ceiling is. Now, am I surprised by this one? Not really. We did have a buying area that we talked about here, and this area got front run here, got front run here, got front run here, and then what did it do? It based above again, hit it, came back up and grabbed that base, and it's like, yeah, it's breaking. Um, Here, I'll put this on a 15. This is a fun one to watch. Whenever you see the base above, right? Here's the base. You're like, don't base below it. Go right into the trade. There's where it came back. It hit it and said, oh, no, no, we need some more sellers. And came back to the base right up. It's the same thing when something is rallying up, right? When it's rallying up, and that's not really the base there, but when something rallies up and starts the base right below it and then uses it and hits it, it's like, yeah, it's going to go through. And it did. It did. It sliced right through this one. So, unfortunately, that was a decent level. I actually kind of like that level in the Swiss. Um, you know, but we knew if we broke, we kind of had a bit of a run down. And like I said, I don't care about the 78.6. And we're so close to it at this point. I'm just going to remove this just to kind of keep it clean. Let's pull some of these old levels off. We'll leave that one for right now. But right now, when we find a bottom, you can see this level is old. We're going to remove it. Right now, we definitely have an area here, and again, we could move it a little bit if we wanted to. We could say, well, wait a second, let's move the level here, and look at that. You can see the two touches, which is also true. Right now, this is where the bottom is coming in at. Look at that. The 23.6 just happens to go back to that same level. Even if we go just a little bit lower, that 23.6 is in very, very close proximity. So I think it's a level we need to watch out for. And again, it was a decent pullback. It kind of did what it was supposed to do. It hit a zone, respected it, came back up, grabbed more sellers. So we know there's some sellers there, and then look at the acceleration off of that. So as far as areas where there's potential, I would say that 96.63 is probably a decent level if we were able to push back up there for additional shorts. Now, the Swiss is not necessarily the EU economy, but they're going to have a lot of the same problems with it. So, again, this is one of those ones. If anything, what I think is going to happen is we're going to come down here and find a base. I don't know where that base is coming in at yet. We'll find it. It's going to be a little bit lower, but if we start to push back up again, this actually for me right now would be more of a target. Right now, if this is the bottom right now, if we do nothing but roll back again, then yes, there could be a shorting opportunity. But if we come farther down here in the base, the farther this 23.6 gets away, it tells you that this is a target. So once we find the bottom and we start seeing like a green, red, green confirmation, we pull the trigger, go long. Make sure you're selling before this one, and actually probably shrink it down a little bit. Put it at this level here, 96.55. Right? 96.55, it's right before where the zone is. It'll be more of a safe place to be able to take your profit. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. Dollar yen. Right now, we're seeing massive amounts of yen strength, and actually, it looks like we're still seeing dollar weakness kick in. Let's see if it's bouncing. Yeah, Yeah, the dollar weakness did not hold at this level, and again, you can see numerous hits on that level. Um, got a little grindy here, but this is quite a racetrack here. Is there a headline? Let me see. Maybe a headline on this one. Mm, India's forests reserve fall to the lowest in more than 20 months. Not yet. I was waiting for a headline on this one. Oh, we're on the 15 also. Let's go back to the 30. There's a little bit of grindy right there, but heck, if we can get to here, look at this on a dollar. Man, this could be a nasty dollar day. This one could get ugly. Yeah, this is yeah, this is an interesting one. The dollar could continue to fall. One sec, other window. Hmm. Question is, do we survive the 1030 reversal? And again, this is an area where you can see it is grindy, right? Strong push in, base, came back up again, kind of based on top and pulled down, and then kind of continued its rally. Being 1030, we could take a bounce off of this. This could look like this at 1030, right? And again, all it is profit taking off the horrible news, right? Oh my God, the news is horrible. It's so bad, right? So we could see that. Problem is, we're getting so much in strength in this one. Again, we're at the 78. I don't care about it anymore. Let's pull it off. Don't care. Do like that base there, though. Look at that. There's your pullback. This one got no pullback. It just got sliced through with this one. 137. Actually, I guess it did pop off this one a little bit. What time did that hit? It was 19. I didn't trade this one, um, but it did hit. I don't think it made it 1 to 3 though. It did. It did actually make its 1 to 3. There you go. It did make its 1 to 3. So yeah, so we had this one marked off yesterday, the 137.21. I was like, I'd like that level. So it did. It actually did hit it. Yeah, it hit it last night at what, 7:30? 7:30 p.m. I was at my game. Which, by the way, every time we play this one team, they are just the biggest slashers. I have such a knot on my left arm. I didn't even have the ball when I got slashed. And I was like, are we gonna call this or what? Every time it's one arm or the other one. I literally recover and we play them again, and now it's yeah. It's like a golf ball under my arm, like under the skin. It's insane. But I think right now we don't touch this one until we get down to 135. We know 135 is a big psychological level. We know we're grinding through a lot of chop in there, and right actually before, there was actually a little bit of a profit target, 135.15. But 135 is going to be a huge psychological number. And we've been talking about this one for a while. We mentioned that 139 was just insanely crazy, that we should be looking to get this one short. BOJ could literally just intervene any day. And I think we talked about this one on a weekly basis, right? Because this was, what, the 14th we talked about that one? Yeah, so 18th was over here. We talked about being short for the week. Um, you can see being short from the week. Where is it? 17, 15, 17, right here. This is 310 pips to the downside. So you only took a little tiny bit of heat. 15, 16 right here. Yeah, so you had about 27 pips worth of heat total, and then 310 pips to the downside on this one. So again, we talked about that week long position. Again, this is, you know, gotta like it, and again, the BOJ didn't intervene or did not, but again, yeah, it just, this is about knowing your currency pairs, and knowing kind of different areas. And again, you know, remember the world was supposed to end at 1:30, then 1:35, and then 1:39 was like, holy crap! It's like, yeah, they're gonna do something, and they really haven't pulled the trigger. But we're all the way back down, almost 400 pips to the downside. But since the week started, down 310 pips. So hope you guys were able to grab that one. All right. Cryptos are again up a little bit. I wouldn't say that they're any kind of there's not no real main momentum in this one. Um, Holy crap! What happened with this? Oh, earnings. Oh, split. Split. I was like, whoa, why is it down to 75%? That's kind of funny. Yeah. It's always misleading. You're like, holy crap. I don't think more people are buying GameStop. Um, and look at AMC down another 5%. It did rally back up a little bit, so but again, crashing. Ethereum, kind of the same thing. We know we got a level there. Can remove that level. And TLT, not necessarily surprised we had the nice little pop. So not necessarily surprised. And again, this is going to be more of kind of a flight to safety, but it's hard because it's also what's going on with the dollar. I think that's going to be the bigger. Oops. Wait, did I mess that up? Oops. All right, let's go into commodities. So, did we hit it? Nope, missed it by 25 cents. So we mentioned there was going to be some buying coming in here, and again, this is more or less just choppy back and forth. We talked about it being down, and again, it did. Um, Price came down. We hit the target here. Again, you can see how much it based through there. So let's pull some of these off. Get that off. We'll pull that one right now. We know we got a level there. Mark this one right here. I think that's the how that came off isn't horrible. I kind of like that strength off of it. And again, strong red, green hiccup, and then again, strong push back down again. Um, that's kind of a nice little push. So I think we should definitely keep that one marked for next week. Um, Oops, doesn't work that way. 98.90. I think that's pretty decent. I don't mind that one at all. Hmm, hmm. Yeah, I think that was pretty decent. Like I said, we do have lower lows in here. Again, we got some lower highs, and we're reversing that right now. We do have a green, red, green. So again, the tide has turned this morning already. And again, it turned about 7 and 8 o'clock this morning. It missed it by just a little bit, right? You know, tiny, 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 tiny percentage. Um, hmm. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out. Do we want to take something off that? I feel like no. Oh, it is a 50. Wah, wah, wah. That's what I was afraid of. Problem with this one is again the oil market closes a bit early, but if some of you guys are trying to be really aggressive with this one, again there's a 50%, and maybe we don't hit it. Maybe it doesn't get up there, and it's for next week. That would be kind of cool. But 97.60, right? It is a 50% retracement, but again we are running out of time, so it's if this was like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I think this would be a decent trade in oil. But I think where it is, I think you got to be a bit cautious with it. Just a little cautious. Yeah, I like it on a technical basis, but again, knowing that the oil market does close early, I think it's one you need to be cautious with. Natural gas, and we are rallying. And again, we blew through it yesterday. Yesterday morning, we were trying to see if we get a bit of a reversal, and it did. It reversed back down and then just kind of flatlined on us, and then the Europeans kind of sent it crazy. Right now, let's see. Ooh, 23 has moved over, so let's remove some of these. And again, we talked about kind of where these were. Um, didn't make it back there, but I'd say watch this level. If this is truly the top for the day, um, for next week, there could be a little buying level there at this 23.6. Overall, again, we weren't really looking. Again, we knew we had these targets in here. These were the targets that we were shooting for before. 78, or I'm sorry, 8.70 was kind of where we were talking about as being our next kind of big level. If we pull up, yeah, it's still in the same proximity, right? Still in the same proximity. Yeah, yeah. I would say look to see if we can get some type of basing, some type of bounce over here. Um, yeah, yeah. I would say $8.70, 771 is probably our top and bottom ranges in this one right now. But again, I'd like to see some type of a topping pattern in there. Something in there to be able to sell that one. So, eh. Gold. So gold, we were actually looking for that reversal, and you can see we ended up getting the quick hit in, quick hit out, and then came back in, and then the hit out again. It's like, oh, this one's going to keep fighting. So technically, there's one, there's two, there's three, and then it broke through. I actually thought we would, and again, I drew it on here. I was looking for a reversal back down. Looks like again, super dollar week. I feel like it's almost like, hey, somebody knows something. We can pull this one off and let's redo it and pull here up. Again, we had a looks like we had a profit target there. This one hit. Yeah, this one hit and pushed back down. Let's take that off. Let's take that off. Let's take that off. Let's talk about next big areas. Ugh, I don't like that level at all. Um, that's kind of what we bounced off of. I was looking at this and I was like, I can kind of put, I can make an argument about that level there, even though technically, I mean, here it is, tested, tested, tested. It's not super fresh, and that's kind of what we just hit. Say this is probably the next one up top, right? Because I don't know if I want to mess around with that. It turned. There's a wick over wick there. I don't love it. Um, I think this is going to be my next area. It's quite a bit of ways away though. So that's kind of what we're looking at. We're at an area right now. It's tested, but this is a zone that is not fresh. It's been pushed, kind of reestablished here. But again, it's not super fresh, and it may actually be able to burst through the top a little bit more. The only thing that I would say that's going for this one right now is the fact that it is 1028. So I mean it is a 1030 reversal time frame. It has pushed nothing but straight up since the European session is there. So this is where gold would turn and roll. This is kind of it. And again, today's kind of a weird day, right? We have gold up, 80, 0.83, and then silver is flirting around at just, it's negative, and it's flirting around between 0.08 and zero point 0.2. So, you know, question is silver leading the way and is gold going to get drug back down and follow? I'd say yeah, potentially. Um, but yeah, it's just been straight up today. So this could be the reversal. If it is, we've already missed it. It's a little bit too late for us. If this was where you were looking to get short, let's see, do you have enough room? It's a little bit deep. It's a little bit deep. Um, I would say profit target for me would be there. It's just right under the 23.6 on that one. So, I mean, there's something in there, but like I said, the best thing you have going for this one, I mean, you have two things. One, it is a level. There has been people there. It is not the freshest level in the world. It has been there numerous times. It has pushed it pretty deep. But again, it is associated with a 20, a 1030 reversal. So it's touched. Um, just a little bit deep for me. Let's see what silver's doing. Um, again, silver, it's touched as well. You got the pull back down. Yesterday we bounced off the top side, came back up again. Look at this. Boom, 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 boom. Numerous opportunities to take that one long. Let's turn that yellow. It loves this. Look at this. Base, Harry Potter, drop. Came back up, dropped, dropped, dropped. Bounced up, bounced, 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 up, bounced, up. Now we're looking at this side. Um, would you say it's trending? Not really. But I would say if we were able to get a breakthrough and get some type of a pullback down in here, um, I'd say we probably have a silver short coming in back down to this probably 1824. But again, you're holding silver the weekend? No, I'll hold silver the weekend. Looking for this one more probably for next week. And again, it looks like silver is starting to accelerate to the downside, and gold is starting to pull back a little bit as well. So again, 1030 reversal. This one I would say really doesn't have a reversal. It is more on the negative side of things, but if gold is turning and reversing, it would make sense that this one would follow also. So yeah, they're in there. Let's go back real fast and see what is the VIX doing. Yeah, the VIX had that one pop and is pulling back down. Um, dollar, yep, it's starting to do that's 1030 bounce. Let's see what the indices are doing. So yeah, so indices started here, rallied all the way up. The data came out, pushed it all the way back down again. So um, so we're calling for shorts, and now it's kind of stabilizing and leveling. You can see that the ES is at it's minus 0.0. It's now 5, so it's cruising, but it was point 0.2 or 0.02 a second ago. So I would say right now the market's not sure what to do with this. Right? It's it was bad news. Right? Bad news for the dollar. Bad news, but it's a fight. Right? Overall, my opinion is it is more of a red-based news day. I don't know. Maybe we get a feel-good Friday end of the day rally, but that news again, yes, it is weak for the dollar because it's kind of like, well, they may not raise it as much, but we know inflation is still growing. Now we just know that services are now contracting, and we know that inflation is not controlled yet, and we haven't seen the jobs. Again, service sector contracting is not necessarily jobs, but yeah. So definitely think it's an interesting scenario, to say the least. Um, but overall, for me, I think it's red across the board. We said that earlier today. Nice pop. We were looking for a clean entry. Didn't get it. It did make it there, but again, you guys can see from the news, it turned and rolled right back to the downside. So it happens, right? It happens. And again, we talked about it before. There was going to be no setup at 9:30. There was nothing there. We had 9:45 news, and again, that's why we had the pop and then the big crash back down again. Um, let's see. Was there? I don't even think we had enough. Yeah, there wasn't really even enough. I guess you could have established a little bit of a risk level at 940, 945, 950. Yeah, it blew the top. This one would have been harder to take for futures traders, but there would have been your top on it. And then again, when this pushed down, um, it did pull back. So a little bit harder for futures traders to take. But yeah, it was definitely a short trade for news today. NQ, look at the craziness in this one. Again, we talked about a level higher. 9:30 missed, and it's a shame it missed. If that 9:30 would have hit, that definitely was a 1 to 3. That would have been a nice little hit 1 to 3, but it didn't. It pulled down. It got super super close. And again, you got to draw the line somewhere. I mean, it's like, well, isn't this the whole zone where the gap is? You could say it, but I mean, that's in reality, that's the majority of the basing, right? It came from over here. It was the old level. I guess I could use that as our level because that's the top of the green candle back here. And again, it's the top, 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 the bottom of this wick, and then again, the top's over here. So it still didn't hit either way, no matter how much I manipulate it. It's not an entry on 15. It's a shame that it is, or it wasn't. And I'll show you what it would have looked like had it hit. 1 to 3 is right there. So you can see, had that actually triggered, I mean, there's enough movement. There's your 1 to 3 movement. You can see it blew through the top. It's just the entry had to occur down here, right? So again, was a front run. Would I want to take it here? No, not really. Not after the big push and then the continued push down. And again, this is one of the weaker ones out there today. It's services. That's more technology and food service. So yeah, it's a shame. Again, not a trigger. YM continue to push lower and again got so close. Got so close. Hold on one sec. Super close. Didn't make it, but again, we were calling for a short anyway. Again, now in 30, it did pull back. Let's see, on a 5 minute, would have given us a level. Mm, not really. It's hard because this one just went straight down and came back up. Oh, I guess actually. I guess if you did it on a 1 minute, right, that's what it looked like. pushed down, came back up, and then 9:45 was right here for the news. So yeah, I mean, had you used the 35 and 1 strategy that we use for oil, yes, there was a level there, and we dropped down to the 5 minute. We saw a level, and when you drop to the 1 minute, right there's the open. Here's that stabilization. This is 9:40 right here, 9:41, 9:42. Look at that. The price has stopped. 9:43, 9:44, and then 9:45, and then it did come back and retest. So I guess actually you could have traded this one short. This is the only one so far that has that, and then 1 to 3 is right there. So you can see the 1 to 3 is out based off the news. So again, 35 and 1 strategy, but this one had a heck of a lot baked into it. Um, so again, a little bit higher risk with those things. But again, 35 and 1, we were dead on. All right. And then Russell. So yeah, Russell, same thing. We were talking about it, getting short that one, and again, it's the same thing. 9:45 just absolutely just collapsed and got hammered through to the downside. A lot of risk in it. I don't know. Let's see. 9:30. Look at this. 9:30 just missed it, and again, that would have been a 1 to 3. Um, so close to getting that long pre-news. And look at this. This one, 9:40, never even stabilized. Kind of stabilized here, and then popped at 9:45, and then pushed it. Yeah. So this one wouldn't have given you a 35 and 1 at all. So YM gave you a 35 and 1. Unfortunately, two of these missed entry on this by such a small, tiny amount. It sucks when that happens, but kind of the same thing. Had you got into this one, long. Look at this. Had this one hit, 1 to 3 is sitting right there. And again, it didn't. This green candle did not hit it. Right. So again, not cherry picking the data. Right. But that's what your 1 to 3 would have looked like. Had it actually triggered, it blew it out the top. So, but no trigger. No trigger. Got so close, and that sucks when it happens, but it happens, unfortunately. So, nothing you can do about it. All right, so that's it for today. Like I said, it is a weekend. We got some mixed stuff. Tesla, doing well again. Um, Again, crude having some problems. Natural gas up there again, still high up there. See if any of these other ones. Silver is just silver is so choppy. It's so ugly. So ugly. Um, Yeah. Like I said, I think YM is the last one to fall. I think it all goes red. Who knows? Maybe we'll get a feel good Friday at the end of the day. Something in that last half hour. Overall, though, for the most part, everything out there is red. The data contracting again. Inflation is continuing to rise. Nothing else is great. Let's see. Did we get any? Has anybody said anything? Is there a headline? Nope. Not even a headline talking about it. So, um, it's kind of the ostrich thing. Everybody's putting their head in the sand. So, but anyway, look for some reversals. I'm kind of hoping a lot of these reversals don't really do much right now. Kind of looking for them to hold, and then Sunday night gives us the opportunity to retrace all the movement on Friday. That's best case scenario. Don't know if it's going to happen, but that's kind of what I'm looking for. So with that, I'm out of here. If you need anything, shoot me a message on Discord. If not, I will catch you guys Monday morning. Um, Still haven't heard back from Dan, so don't know if we'll be on for morning show. I may just do it anyway. Just pop the name up there and then link it in, and then we'll see where we go from there. So, also, I'm in a tournament tomorrow in an all-star game, so we'll see if I survive or not. It's I'll be one of the older players in it, so we'll see. But I have a meeting I want to share with you guys. I have a meeting. I believe I am going to start I think I'm going to do it. I'm like 99% sure I'm going to do it. But I'm meeting with a friend of mine who actually has a current podcast. It's not trading related, but he's had a podcast now for 2 years. So he's got basically all of it worked out, what platforms he prefers to use, how to do the uploads and everything like that. So, um, you didn't win the bib chips today. I haven't done the drawing yet, Ernest. We're not there yet. Here, I'll put it up here. Right. I think I'm going to start a podcast. I like the idea of it. Maybe keep the episodes a little bit shorter, something like 20 minutes or something. Um, had some ideas about doing interviewing, but the first step in it was really um, just getting the audio and things down. Already have a name for it. It was something that I picked out a long time ago that I wanted to do, and then have it be a mix between talking about kind of the headlines, the news to look for. I like I said, I don't know how often I'm going to do it. Whether it's going to be a once a week podcast or maybe like twice a week thing. Um, but again, talking about kind of the big trade results. news that comes out, do interviews with people and strategies, talk about, again, uh, problems with some indicators, try to keep it, mixing it up, but basically have like five different potential topics and then change it. So I don't know. It sounded cool. Like I said, I've been on his podcast before. He's got it really ironed out good. And again, it's always nice when you have somebody that's been doing it for a while that can help you with it. Just put a trading flare on it. So um, Ernest is like, I won by a landslide. All right, let's do the drawing so Ernest can stop, telling me my voice is raspy and I sound like I have a pack of cigarette a day habit. Um, all right, so Sean won yesterday. We'll see if who takes it today. Ernest and Neuro ran just a little bit heavier than everybody else, but we'll see. All right, winner of today's drawing is Debbie. I didn't even say her name today. Didn't even say her name. So, look at that. Leaderboard. Let's get Debbie over here. Oh, wait a second. Look at that. Look at this. 5,700 to 5,699. But Debbie gets her 25 points for winning today. Look at that. The girl, she holds on, goes into the weekend in third place. Look at that. Oh, you're back in? Did you take it over? Look at that, Debbie. Look at that. All right. Look at this. It's continuing to accelerate. All right. So hopefully the dollar doesn't disappear this weekend. Who knows? It's getting weird. But you guys have a great weekend. I'll catch you guys next week. And again, if you have other ideas of things you'd like to see in the podcast, please let me know. Put it in the Discord channel. Like I said, I'd like to have 5, 6 different topics that I could talk about, whether it be like mentioning strategies, talking about an indicator for 20 minutes or 15 minutes, doing an interview with someone about the markets, their opinions on the markets, that kind of stuff. But again, I need 6 total, and then I can cycle between those 6 on a regular basis. But anyway, have a great weekend. Thanks for joining today, and I'll catch you guys next week. Take care.